Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. So for today's video, I will continue for subtopic 2.3, which is quadratic functions. Okay, in this video, our first subtopic is analyzing the effects of change of A, H and K on the shapes and positions of the graph for fx is equal to ax minus h square plus k. So this is what we call as the vertex form that you already learned from last video. Okay, so what is the effect of change of a, h and k, which is a, h and k is the constant. Okay, before we analyze the effect of change of a, h and k, this is the extra information from your previous lesson. Okay, so from your previous lesson, you know that vertex form is in the forms of like this, which is fx equal to a in bracket x minus h close bracket square plus k. And then the general form of quadratic function is fx is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. This is the same thing. This is the general form, right? So vertex form, we got the general forms of vertex form from the general form here. Okay, so it means that a with a in the general form, it is equal, the same. And then for h from the vertex form, and then b for in the general form, it is the same. And then for k in the vertex form, and then c from the general form, it is the same. Okay, so a means a, h is equal to b, where h for vertex form, and then for b for general form. So you need to know lah, this is actually the same thing. Okay, so we are going to analyze the effect of the change of h of a, h and k. Okay, now we are going to learn and we are going to analyze the effect of change of a, h and k. Okay, I remind you once again that a is equal to a, and then h is equal to b from the general form, and then for k in a vertex form will equal to c in the general form. Okay, now look at this one. Okay, look at this one. This is the equation of the vertex form given, right? The purple color here, okay, which is fx is equal to a in bracket x minus h close bracket square plus k. Okay, now what is if the effect of change of a first? Okay, we look at the a first. Okay, we look at the a first. Okay, for a, okay, if you can see, this is the straight line for the value of a, b and c. So now we focus to a first. Okay, what is the effect of changing the value of a? It means that the value of a, the only thing that we change, the value of b, c, or the value of h and k is unchanged. Okay, so what is the effect of changing the value of a only? Okay, now, okay, as for your information, the value of a, the change in value of a affect the shapes and the width of the graph. Okay, once again I told you the change in value of a will affect the shape and the width, the kelebaran of the graph. Okay, the third thing, it affects the shape and the width of the graph. Okay, so what happened when a is greater than 0? Okay, when a is greater than 0, so you know that if a greater than 0, it means the graph is smiley. So the graph is smiley, which passes through the minimum point. And okay, when the graph is a is less than 0, so it means that the graph is in the shapes of masam. Okay, and then it will passes through the maximum point. Okay, now look at the graph. For the graph, a is greater than 0. Okay, for example, I give you as mentioned in here, a is equal to 2, right? A is equal to 2. So when the value of a is increased to more than 2, it means that if the value of a is equal to 2 and then the value of a is increased to more than 2, So what happened? Okay, let's look at what happened. If A, the value of A is increasing. Okay, do you see? When the value of A increasing, okay, when the value of A increasing, the width of the graph will decrease. Okay, the width of the graph will decrease. Okay, remember that the width of the graph will decrease. And then what happened when the value of A, okay, we go back to the original value of A, which is 2. Okay, now what happened when the value of A, which is equal to 2, decrease? So what happened to the graph? Okay, look at the graph carefully. So in the graph, okay, do you see the graph will be the graph will be the width of the graph will increase. Okay, and then what happened? Look at the graph when A is equal to 0. So when A is equal to 0, so the graph is flat. The curved graph will become flat because of what? Because the value of A is equal to 0. Okay, remember? Okay, now we're done for A. Okay, let's look at for the graph. Okay class, just now I already told you regarding to the value of A, which is greater than 0, right? So now what happened if the value of A is less than 0? So we know if value of A less than 0, so it means that the graph is masam. Okay, now look at here. When the value is, okay, for example, like A, the value is -2. Okay, this one, the first value of A is -2. Let's assume like that. And then what happened to the width and to the width of the graph? Okay, if A is equal to -2, when the value of A is decreased to the smaller than -1. Okay, what happened when the value of A is decreased to the smaller than -1? So smaller than -1. So what happened to the width of the graph? Okay, look at the graph. Look at the graph carefully. Okay. Okay, so -2 decrease. Okay, from A to equal to -2, then it will decrease. So what happened? See? Do you see that? Okay, so okay, from this one and then this one. See, the width of the graph will decrease. Okay, so going back to the original one. Okay, when A is equal to -2, okay, what happened when the value of A is equal to -2 is increasing from -2, which is we approach into to 0. So what happened to the width? Okay, see, do you see? The graph will become, the width of the graph will increase. Okay, remember that one. Okay, so but okay, the axis of symmetry, the change of the value of A will keep the axis of symmetry and the maximum or minimum value. It means that if the value of A changes, the axis of symmetry and the maximum or minimum value remain unchanged. Okay, remember that one. Okay, so that's it for the change in value of A. Okay, now we proceed to the we proceed to analyze the change in value of H. So it means that only the value of H changes. So the value of H, I already told you that the value of H is equal to B. Okay, so look at the B, the value of B. The value of B is equal to 2, right? Okay, so for your information, the change in the value of H only shows the horizontal movement of the graph. Okay, look at the value of B. If I change the value of B, it will only change the horizontal movement of the graph from right to left. Okay. Okay, if the value of H changes to become smaller one, so it will, the graph will move to the left. And then what happened when the the value of h changes and then move to the increase when the value of h increasing, so it will move to the right. Okay, so I hope you understand. Okay, now the positions, okay, this is for your extra information. The positions of the x-axis, the positions of the axis of symmetry changes, but okay, you know that the positions of the axis of symmetry changes, right? For if the value of h changes, but the maximum or minimum value will remain unchanged. It doesn't change at all, just the position only, which is either to the left or to the right. Okay, so okay, we're done for the value of h. Okay, class, now we proceed to the value of k. So what happened when only the value of k changes? So remember, k is equal to c. So look at the last straight line here. Okay, c is equal to 2. So what happened? Okay, when the value of c or k, when the value of k increasing, so the graph will move upward. Okay, remember, okay, from k is equal to 2 or c is equal to 2, when the value of the k increasing, the graph will move upward. Okay, and then what happened when the value of k decreasing? So the graph will move downward. So what happened to the maximum and minimum point? So maximum and minimum point value also changes, but the axis of symmetry remain unchanged. Okay, so it means that we can conclude that the change in the value of k only show vertical movement of the graph, and then it will change the maximum and minimum value, but the axis of symmetry remain unchanged. Okay, I hope you can understand. Okay, class, so next we will proceed to the next lesson, which is sketching the graph of quadratic functions. So as you can see here, there is 6 steps to sketch the graph of quadratic functions. So the first step, determine the shapes of graph A, which is A lah. We need to look at the value of A. So if the A is greater than 0, so the graph is smiley, and if A is less than 0, then the graph is masam. Okay, now look at step 2. Find the value of discriminant, which is b square minus 4ac. So I hope that you can understand this one. We need to find the value of discriminant to determine the types of graph. So from your previous lesson, you know that there is 3 types of the graph. There is 3 types of roots. Okay, the first one is two real and different roots. Okay, and then the second one, 2 real and equal root, and then the last one is no real roots. Okay, so I hope that you can still remember that if the discriminant b square minus 4ac greater than 0, so the equation has 2 different real roots. So remember, 2 different real roots if the discriminant is greater than 0, and then if the discriminant is equal to 0, then the types of root is 2 equal real roots. Okay, if the discriminant is less than 0, so it means that the root is, it has no real roots. Okay, remember that 3 types of the roots. Okay, now look at step 3. Step 3, determine the vertex. So if the question asks you to determine the vertex, so you need to remember the question wants you to find the maximum and minimum point. Okay, so the vertex form, this is the vertex form, which is fx is equal to a in bracket x minus h close bracket square plus k. Okay, now look at step 4. Find the value of the roots. Okay, from step 2, you know that what types of the roots, and then in step 4, you need to find the value of that roots, where fx is equal to 0. Okay, why fx is equal to 0? Fx represent the y-axis, y. So, for the roots, okay, roots, it will intersect with the x-axis. If it is intersect the x-axis, so the value of y is 0, equal to 0. That's why the value of y here is fx here is equal to 0. Okay, and do the factorization method. This is the method that you need to key in your calculator. Okay, now look at step 5. Determine the y-intercept. Okay, y-intercept FO where x is equal to 0. Okay, y FO. O is this one supposed to be the value unknown x, right? So when we want to find the y-intercept, okay, y-intercept like this. Okay, y-intercept. So the y-intercept is in here. So it means that x is equal to 0. So that's why F0, where x is equal to 0. Okay, now the last step is do the sketching. Okay, now proceed with the example. Okay class, we look at the example 15 where the question asks you to sketch the graph of the quadratic function fx equal to negative x squared plus 4x plus 12. Okay, now so okay, we will do one by one the step. Okay, now look at here. Okay, fx. Okay, the first step is you need to determine the shapes of the graph. So this one a is equal to negative 1. So negative 1 is less than 0. So it means that the graph is masam. Okay, we know that the graph is masam. Okay, now look at the step 2. Step 2. Okay, step 2. Find the. Okay, look at step 2. Step 2, the question asks you to find the value of discriminant. This one, we want to determine the types of the roots. Okay, so step 2, based on the discriminant. Okay, now b square minus 4ac. Okay, b square minus 4ac. Okay, class. Okay, look at b square. B square is 4, right? b is equal to 4. So 4 square minus 4a is negative 1. Negative 1. C is 12. Okay, now key in your calculator. Then you will get the answer will become 64. Okay, 64. We know that 64 is greater than 0. If 64 is greater than 0, so it means that the types of root is, what is the type of root? Okay, the types of root is 2 real and different roots. Okay, so remember this one. So it means that, you know, the graph will become like this. Okay, this one, there is 2 roots. Okay, so now step number 2. Step number 3. Step 3. What should you do for step 3? Okay, for step 3, you need to determine the vertex, which is the maximum or minimum point. So in this case, in this example, the graph is masam, so maximum point lah. And then you need to make it in the forms of vertex form. If you want to make it in the forms of vertex form, so the way is you need to do the completing the square. So completing the square. Okay. So completing the square based on the equation given. Fx is equal to negative x squared plus 4x plus 12. Okay, and then take out the negative value, the negative symbol here. So it will become x squared minus 4x minus 12. Okay, if you multiply back, you will get the original equation. Okay, now and then negative. Okay, put away the negative, and then this one. Okay, so x squared minus 4x. Okay, this one you need to apply the formula plus b negative 4, which is negative 4 over 2 square, and then negative, and then negative 4 over 2 and then negative 12. Okay, so negative 12. Okay, now, and then what should you do? Okay, this one, okay, 2 we can simplify, we can cut 2, it will become 2, 1 over 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4. Okay, so from here we know this one, don't forget the negative, and then okay, x negative positive negative 2. Okay, and then square here. Okay, and then negative what? Negative negative 2 negative 12. Okay, so negative here, solve x minus 2 square and then solve this one. So you'll get the answer will be negative 2 square, you got 4 negative, so negative 4 negative 4 negative 12 negative 4 negative 12, you will get negative 16. Negative 16. Okay, and then okay, now solve the negative here. So negative to the bracket here, it will become negative x minus 2 square negative negative positive 16. So we know that this is the maximum point is 2, which is this one, and 16. Okay, and then the equation, axis of symmetry, the axis of symmetry is equal to, x is equal to, take the 2 here, is equal to 2. Okay, so that's it. Done for step 3. Okay, done for step 3. Okay, now look at step 4. Look at step 4, which is find the value of roots fx is equal to 0 and do the factorization method. Okay, so step 4. Okay, for step 4, find the value of roots, right? So fx is equal to 0. So it means that negative, okay, for fx is equal to 0. So it will become negative x squared plus 4x plus 12 equal to 0. Then do the factorization. Okay, key in your calculator, qn mod. Okay, so negative 1, b is 4, c is 12. Then your answer will be x is equal to negative 2, x is equal to 6. So from here we know that okay, the root is negative 2 and 6 lah. But before that you need to do the working for the factorizations. Okay, so x plus 2, x minus 6 equal to 0. Okay, that's it. Okay, now done already for this one. Okay, and then look at step 5. Look at step 5. The question asks you for step 5. Determine the y-intercept where x is equal to 0. Okay. Step 5. Okay, for step 5, x is equal to 0. So we know that f0 is equal to this one, negative 0 square plus 4, 0 plus 12. So your answer will become 12. So the y-intercept is equal to 12. Okay, now step 6. Sketching. Okay, now sketch. Okay, for the sketching, Okay, wait. Okay, so how to sketch? Okay, we know that the graph is masam. Okay, so just do the sketching. Okay, now the graph is masam, right? The graph is masam, we know. And then look at these two different root, and then the maximum and minimum point. Okay, so this one. Okay, but before that, look at the roots. Where is the roots? Okay, here. This is the root. The root is, okay, before that you need to labelkan fx, and then this one will be x. Okay, and then x is equal to -2, so it was in here. This -1, -2. So -2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this one 6 here for the roots, so there is 2 roots here. Okay, now for the y-intercept, the position is in 12. So just do it like this. Kat sini just assume this one as a 12, and then maximum point. Where is the maximum point? Okay, sorry, I think okay, so fx, okay, just assume this one as 12, and then 16 is in here. 16, 16. Why 16? Because the maximum point, is 16. Okay, and then the maximum point for this one, this one 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now this one and this one sketch, and then for this one you need to sketch also. Okay, and then maximum point, the position of the maximum point. Where is the position of the maximum point? 2, 16. So 2 here, okay, dotted line, okay, and 16. So it was in here, the maximum point. And then now you know that the graph is masam. So from here to here, okay. So just sketch how, okay, like this. Okay, sorry, the graph is, okay, so just okay, something like that lah, because this is the sketching, so it doesn't look like equal, right? So but this is how you do it lah. Okay, so we know that the maximum point is 216. Okay, so that's it. Okay, and then the graph is fx is equal to -x squared plus 4x plus 12. Okay, like this. So this is how you do it. Okay, plot the roots, and then the y-intercept, and then the maximum or minimum point. Then you can sketch. That's it. Okay, so we proceed with our last lesson, which is solving problems of quadratic functions. Okay, look at example 16. Suresh is chosen to represent his school in the district level javelin competitions. He throws the javelin at a distance of 3 meters from the ground. 3 meters from the ground, the distance, okay? So the height of the javelin is given by the functions ht is equal to -5t squared plus 14t plus 3, where h is the height in meter of the javelin and t is the time in second. So the question asks you to find the maximum height in meter of the javelin thrown by Suresh. So what does it mean by this question A? Okay, the question A asks you to find the to find the maximum height. So maximum height, or we can consider as maximum point. Okay, so thrown by the Suresh. So if you want to find the maximum height or maximum point, what should you do? You need to apply the completing the square. Okay, by make it the equation given, which is ht negative 5t square plus 14t plus 3. We need to make it this general form of the equation into a vertex form. So you need to apply the completing the square. Okay, so how you want to do it? Okay, do it like this. Okay, negative 5. Okay, and then in bracket t square. Okay, and then plus 14 over 5t. Okay, why I divide by 5? Because I factorize the negative 5 outside the equation. So if I factorize the outside the equation negative 5, so you need to apply with the other terms also. So for this one, and then if I do it like this, is if I divide by 5, so that it will become, we will get the original equation again. Okay, so this one will become negative, positive, negative. Okay, sorry, wait, this one's supposed to be negative. Okay, negative 5 times t square, we got negative 5t square. Negative 5 times negative 1, negative 14 over 5, we got 14. Okay, so negative 3 over 5. Okay, like this. Okay, you need to factorize negative 5, so that this one will become t square only. There is no coefficient other than 1. Okay, so if you take out negative 5, so this term and this term also must be applied to. Okay, so done already for this one. Okay, now negative 5. Okay, and then t square. Okay, negative 14 over 5t, and then plus minus, right? Plus with negative 14 over 5 over 2 square, and then negative 14 over 5 divided by 2 square, and then this one negative 3 over 5. Okay, so okay, now negative 5. Okay, and then this one t square minus 14 over 5t, and then plus with, okay, solve this one in the bracket. So negative 14 over 5 divided by 2. Your answer will be negative 7 over 5. So negative 7 over 5 square. And then this one, it will become also the same, which is negative 7 over 5 square, negative 3 over 5. Okay, then we can simplify. Negative 5. Okay, this one will become t, negative, positive, negative 7 over 5 square. Okay, now this one, solve this one. Okay, what happened? Okay, negative in bracket negative 7 over 5, close bracket to the power of 2, negative 3 over 5. So your answer will be negative 64 over 25. Negative 64 over 25. Okay, now we done. Okay, look at this one. Next. Okay. Okay, so okay, now we expand. Okay, so it will become negative 5 t negative 7 over 5 square, and then this one multiply with this one, so negative 5 multiply with negative 64 over 25. So your answer will be 64 over 5. Positive 64 over 5. Now, we know that the maximum height is equal to, okay, which one you need to take? You need to take the y-intercept or the value of k here. This is, we cannot take it, the value of this one here, because t minus 7.5, if we factorize t minus 7.5, okay, sorry, it will become t equal to 7.5. So t is the time. We don't want the time, we want to find the maximum height. So this one lah, 64 over 5. This is the answer. Okay, at the maximum height, which is 64 over 5, the time is 7.5 seconds. Okay, so your final answer is maximum height is equal to 64 over 5 meter at the time t is equal to 7.5 seconds. That's it. Okay, now question B. Calculate the time in second when the javelin touches the ground. So when the javelin touches the ground, so what happened to the height? Okay, for B, the question asks you to calculate the time when the javelin touches the ground. So if the javelin touches the ground, so there is no height, right? The height is equal to 0. So ht is equal to 0. ht represent the height. It will become equal to 0. So we can apply like this. Okay, ht is equal to 0. Okay, the value negative 5t square plus 14t plus 3 equal to 0, which is ht is equal to 0. Okay, so what we need to do, okay, this one actually you need to find the types, the value of the roots. Okay, so you need to solve this one by factorization. EQN, degree unknown, okay, negative 5, b is 14, c is 3. So your answer for the first value is x is equal to negative 1 over 5, and then another one, x is equal to 3. X is equal to 3. Okay, so for this one, okay, this one bring it to the left, so it will become 5x, and then this one plus 1 equal to 0. So this one x minus 3. So the working is 5x plus 1 x minus 3 equal to 0. So sorry, not x. Okay, this one supposed to t based on the question. This one supposed to t based on the question. So we know that t is equal to negative 1 over 5 and t is equal to 3. Okay, let's see. Which one you need to take? T time is negative 1 over 5 seconds. Is it possible? So this is not possible. This is impossible for the time to become negative. So we cannot take this one. We need to take this one, which is t is equal to 3. That's it. Okay. So we already are done for chapter 2, quadratic function. Okay, and then next we will proceed to the chapter 3.